Hello, my name is Lilly, and welcome to the final segment of the MyMACC Podcast for the 2023-2024 school year. Our first segment is Brooke talking with the Ag program. Hi, my name is Brooke, and welcome to my segment of the MyMACC Podcast, where I interview the Agriscience instructor and a student. Ms. Sturm, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Amanda Sturm. I've been teaching for 22 years. This is my 6th year here at the MACC. Taught Agriscience, biology, AP, environmental science.
Okay, and could you tell me a little bit about the Agriscience program here at the Career Center?
Sure. Our Agriscience program is developed to give students an overview of all the different areas of ag. So we spend a semester on animals every year, and then we spend a semester on plants and natural resources. We have a fully functional greenhouse. We raise rabbits and chickens in the class every year and then take them to FFA contests. We're the only FFA chapter in Montcalm County. So if students want to be involved in FFA, which is the largest youth organization, they have to be enrolled in our program.
Okay, cool. And what led you to teaching Agriscience here?
Well, I got into Agriscience because I've always been interested in animals since I was a little kid. If you talk to my family, they would tell you that my goal was to be the racing veterinarian for the Kentucky Derby, which my family always teases me about. But so that got me interested in ag. I went to Michigan State to go to vet school. When that didn't work out, I decided that I wanted to help other kids have a better shot at making it into veterinary school, and so I got a degree in animal science, married my husband, and now I live on a farm that went from a hobby farm to a full-time farm. We raise cattle, pigs, goats, and then I bring those into my classroom for my students to learn how to work with those different animals. And so I grew up in Belding. Our farm is in Ionia, so coming here to work at the Career Center was just a natural fit for that. And I just love teaching ag because every day is something new. You never know what's going to happen in my classroom. My students will tell you that too.
And what are some careers that students can pursue after completing the Agriscience program?
Well, a lot of people think that the only 2 careers that you can do if you come into ag is to be a veterinarian or to be a farmer. But we want people to realize that there are people who go into law enforcement out of our program, that some choose to go into human medicine. There's agronomy is a huge field right now, working in crops, selling seed, working at processing plants, working as in the environment, DNR officers. I have students who work as chefs, students who've gone into teaching.
Interesting.
One that's a journalist.
Cool.
So.
And what do you want the main takeaway from this program to be? You already kind of talked about how you want to make sure that people don't know that there's just
I want my students to be really good consumers and really actually know where their food comes from, because a lot of people think that their food only comes from Walmart, and they don't realize that there are actually farmers and ranchers behind that who are producing all of that, and that there are things that we can do to better our environment and better our world. And so I hope that the students who come out of my program have great leadership skills, are active in their community, and just want to make the world a better place.
Okay, sounds good. And I'm going to turn things over to your student here. Could you please introduce yourself and what school you go to?
I am Cassidy Moore, and I'm actually homeschooled.
Oh, okay.
So I was enrolled through Central Montcalm to be able to come to the Career Center. But
Okay. Sounds good. So what is your favorite part of the Agriscience program?
that I never know what we're going to work on during school. I don't know what's going to be there. I don't know who's going to be there, but
It's always a surprise.
It's always something new.
And what kind of things have you learned this far, and what things are you going to learn soon?
Oh, things I've learned this far, we've talked about a lot of things. There are some things that you will only learn in an Agriscience room. The conversations we have, the lengths we go to understand some things is just amazes me of how much we actually, like, how much ground we cover just within a classroom day.
Right. Okay, and I'm going to turn things back over to Ms. Sturm. So what advice would you give future students thinking of joining your program or any program at the Career Center next year?
Well, I think the advice my students would probably give is be willing to get dirty, because whether we're in the greenhouse or we're out working with the animals, that's a big part of our program. Be open-minded, be willing to work. My class does have the potential to get a student up to 6 credits at Michigan State University. So that's one that's a big one, plus 4 credits next door at MCC. So I think being willing to work, understanding that we're going to have a lot of vocabulary. So being really, willing to put in the effort, I think is a really big thing. So I think those would be the big things I would think.
And then is there anything else I haven't covered that you'd like to share?
So through FFA, our students have an opportunity to compete outside of the school day, to showcase the skills that they've learned. They get a chance to travel. Cassidy and her group this year went to state FFA convention for 3 days, competed at the state level in agriculture issues. So kids learn public speaking skills coming out of our program. And I think that it's a great opportunity if you think that you're interested in learning about food and fiber. There's a lot of opportunities that Ag and FFA have to hold for our students in the community.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you for joining me. And I want to thank you guys for watching my segment of the MyMACC Podcast. See you next time.
Now we are moving on to my segment with a first year and a second year digital arts students.
Hello, my name is Lilly, and welcome to my segment of the MyMACC Podcast. Today we will be interviewing Keegan and Brooke, a first year and a second year student in the digital arts class. So Keegan, what drew you to the digital arts class?
I would say it's something I've never really done before, and I was very interested once I first came and visited the digital arts program. I was more fascinated by the cameras and product photography more than anything else. So
Great. What projects have you worked on so far, and which one was your favorite?
So we've went to Heritage Village, taken some portrait photos, and then we've also done product photography as well. But my favorite out of all would have to be the videos, not the promotion videos for our programs, but the videos that we can just make up anything that happens in them, and it's like a free roam type thing. So they all end up pretty funny. So.
And what has been the best part of your first year at the MACC, and will you be coming back next year?
I will be coming back to Career Center next year, but I will be trying a different program just so I can get a little taste of them all, I guess. And then my favorite part of the Career Center would have to be the people that I've met. Some of them haven't stuck around, but some of them still stay, But you can make a lot of new friends here, and a lot of them just they'll be your best friend. I don't even know. You'll just know when you see them. I don't know.
Okay. And now on to Brooke. So Brooke, how has your perspective on digital arts changed since your first year?
I would say my perspective has changed a lot since my first year because we've had a lot of individual things going on as second years. We have the podcast that we run sometimes by ourselves, sometimes with our teacher. But so we have a bunch of new projects and things that we didn't have last year. We have a lot of different opportunities. And so I would say my perspective has changed in that direction, and also how we have to teach first years sometimes, how to do the camera dynamics and everything like that. So I would say that's how my perspective has changed.
What advice would you give to a first-year student based on your experiences?
I would say the advice that I would give would be to go into the Career Center or the digital arts program with an open mind. A lot of people join the digital arts program because they think that it's just about photography. Lots of people just come for photography and that's it. And so that's kind of a closed mindset. And because in the digital arts program we do a lot more than just photography. We do video editing, videography, all that stuff. We also have websites and everything like that. So just come in with an open mind and be ready to learn whatever we have in store.
And what are you planning to do in the near future since you're a senior?
I'm not sure what I'm planning to do in the near future. I know that I'm going to go to MCC this fall to do my prereqs, and then hopefully find what I want to do in the near future while I'm doing that, and then maybe transfer to a different college if it works well for me. But yeah, that's what I'm planning.
This has been my segment of the MyMACC Podcast. Thanks for watching and listening.
Next is Zaylee talking about summer mental health tips.
Hello, welcome to my last segment of the 2024 MyMACC Podcast. With summer well on its way, I want to finish off the year with some mental health facts, as always. Summer can have various effects on mental health, not just positive but negative as well. With the increase in sunlight, people can find their moods and energy levels being boosted as the sunlight triggers the release of serotonin. With the warmer wet temperatures that summer brings, there are an abundance of outdoor activities people can do which gets them more motivated to get out. While summer is usually a great time for some, there are still those who experience seasonal affective disorder, which is usually only heard of during the winter. The heat, humidity, and disrupted sleep patterns due to longer hours of daylight are all factors that can affect someone's mood in a bad way. There is also the fact that body image issues really start to sprout up during this season as more and more people are wearing lighter clothes and being beach ready, which can affect how someone may see their body if they are not deemed the ideal body. I hope you enjoyed these summer mental health facts, and I hope you have a great summer, and I will not see you next time.
Next is Alex talking about the diesel program.
Hello, and welcome to the MyMACC Podcast. Today on my segment, I will be doing our program Spotlight on the Diesel program. I will be interviewing the diesel instructor, Mr. Neoff, and talking to a second-year student. So, Mr. Neoff, can you tell us how long you have been teaching at the Career Center?
This is my 15th year teaching here at the MACC Career Center. I guess in repair of anything, you need to know how to think through the problem, troubleshoot it, and then come up with a logical, cost-effective way of repairing it. So if they can learn how to look at a problem, figure out how to fix it, and what the necessary repairs are, the parts, and the technique is, that would be the best outcome I think we could have, because it didn't matter if it's your fuel system that's not working right or something with your brakes or your drivetrain components. As long as you can look at it and troubleshoot what causes and effects are happening, that'll help them become much better technicians in the future and repairing stuff. So,
Thank you. Now I would like to turn things over to our student, Gavin Nichols. So Gavin, can you tell us why you decided to join the diesel program?
Well, I mean, I've always been fascinated with anything to do with cars, to semi-trucks, to anything with wheels on it. So, and I don't know, I've been interested in diesel pickups after I started going to truck pulls and stuff like that, and I was like, I want to work on those. And I started actually looking into it, and I realized that it can turn into an amazing career with awesome benefits, and it's just, I don't know, it just caught my interest. And
why did you decide to come back for a second year?
Probably for the ASC student certifications, and I don't know, I just enjoy the class, and I like the teachers, and I like the hands-on experience. Second year students, they are allowed to start taking their student certifications, or they start taking tests in order to earn the student certifications, and you just go online on a computer, and basically I think each test it's between 30 and 50 questions or so. Air brake questions, or questions about the electrical system, and if there's a problem with it, what could be the possible outcomes, or what could be the problems, or how should it be fixed, so.
And what is your favorite thing you've learned in this program?
Probably the engine side of things. Me and Pierce, we rebuilt a 5.9 Cummins diesel, and that was a lot of fun. I was glad that I got to do that hands-on. So, and everyone got to team up and tear down an engine, see how it works, see what's in the inside, and put it back together. So.
And do you plan on pursuing a career in diesel engineering?
I do, yep. And I have a few ideas lined up on where I might want to go, but there's so many opportunities out there. There's so many job opportunities. I could work at CAT, I could work at Peasley's Trucking, the nearest shop, or John Deere or Peterbilt. There's so many around here. So.
Thank you for sharing what you've learned in the diesel program. And thank you for sharing with us what your program is about. Tune in next time.
And now, Jlyn will be talking about graduation tips with Kylie Johnson.
Hello and welcome to my segment of the MyMACC Podcast. Today we will be diving into the post-graduation journey. Joining me today on this journey is Kylie Johnson. Hi, Kylie.
Hi, Jlyn.
Welcome back.
Thanks for having me on the podcast again. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. What are some common options for students after they graduate?
So there's several different pathways that they can take. For one, they can go to college, whether that's a 2-year or 4-year program, or they can continue with trade school, military, they can join the workforce right away after high school, or they can take a gap year.
Great. Can you explain the benefits of furthering your education after graduation?
Yep, the most obvious one is you're going to have a higher earning potential with your income, but there's other benefits. For example, you're more likely to have other opportunities to advance in your employment. You'll have more access to jobs, especially higher paying jobs. And people that have higher education report having higher job satisfaction, as well as a better balance with their life and their health. And you're more likely to network with other employees.
Great. What are some practical tips for recent graduates looking for their first job?
So what I would recommend is use your resources. Look for jobs within the community or with local employers. Use your connections and do some more networking. And then make sure you have a sound resume and make sure you have it up to date. Resumes are a living document, so you can update them as much as you want, and have your skills correlate to the jobs that you're applying to. And make sure you have someone review your resume and give you feedback. You don't want to have like a best friend do this because they're just going to be positive, but make sure you pick someone that you trust and can give you some constructive feedback to help you improve, especially improve your chances of getting hired. Now, if you do secure an interview at a job, make sure you know a little bit about that employer and practice questions that they might ask. And if possible, do a practice interview or a mock interview with someone.
Great. Are there any online resources for you to recommend for post-graduation planning?
So this will correlate with what pathway they take. So if it's someone that's looking to get directly into the workforce, I would recommend going to Michigan Works. You can either do that online, I'm not sure the exact website, but if you Google Michigan Works, or you can go to the office and meet with a job coach. Otherwise, if you're looking at more college level or you're looking to go to college, you can always look at local college websites or MyCAN, which is Michigan College Access Network. And then the other options for those who are undecided or want to know more about a specific career, they can go to careeronestop.org or onetonline.org. And those will kind of compare degrees and jobs and occupations with their interest, and it will give them information about what's going on in the job market right now and what to expect in 5 or 10 years. Because most people have a certain lifestyle that they want, whether it's income or health insurance or the work environment, and they'll be able to get that information there.
Great. Could you repeat those URLs again for me?
Yep. So one I believe is miworks.org. I'm not positive, but I think that's what it is. Career one spelled out, stop.org, and then onetonline.org.
Great. Thank you so much. In your experience, what's the most important thing for graduates to remember as they enter the workforce?
Be flexible, be confident. Obviously, getting your first job outside of high school, it's probably going to be an entry-level job. So just know your first job is not a permanent job. Most people are going to switch jobs throughout their career, and that's okay. Think of it as a stepping stone. You're going to get some experience. You're going to learn what you're good at, what you struggle at, what areas you want to work in, and what areas you might not want to work in. For example, if you get a job working customer service and you realize, I don't like working with people, you're going to avoid working in that field. But it can be a great time to practice your skills and put that on a resume moving forward.
Great. How can recent graduates find internships or volunteer opportunities?
So I would recommend looking at local nonprofits, either in person or online, and see what they have available. A lot of them will have them listed right on their website because nonprofits do not get a lot of money, so they can't always hire new staff to do certain positions. So look on local nonprofit websites. LinkedIn's another great resource, and you can download that as an app or go to their website. And then there's a website called Handshake, and it looks at interns as well as volunteer opportunities, and you can kind of filter it to find something in the path that you're interested in, whether that's hospitality or it's cleaning or it's working in a school. They will have those opportunities available for you.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And this is the end of my segment. This is Jlyn signing off.
Moving on, Adrian is going to talk to a second-year digital arts student about her program.
Hello, welcome back to the MyMACC Podcast. Today, I'm joined by Jlyn, a second-year student in the Digital Arts Program PM session.
Hello.
Hello, Jlyn. Oh, Jlyn, what initially brought you to this program?
What initially brought me to this program is I already had a feeling for wanting to do photography, and this program helped me further my education in photography and also showed me that I wanted to do digital marketing and some video editing.
All right. Is this program at all what you expected it to be?
I would say this program is slightly what I expected it to be. I expected to have the photography aspect, but I didn't expect it to be more of a networking and along with preparing myself for the future class.
All right. What have been your favorite experiences in this classroom? Memories, assignments, projects, any of that would work.
I'd say my favorite assignment would have to be when we custom made our ceiling tiles and painted those. That was a really fun thing to do, to have like a creative aspect in the classroom. I'd say for memories, when we went to the Ferris, I think it was the television center building, and we went there and found out about some careers in the digital arts path, and I thought that was very exciting.
All right. What challenges have you faced as a student in this program?
As a student in this program, one of the challenges I faced was when we tried to do a tour MACC video and using a dog as our tour guide. We found out working with animals is not as what we expected, but is very difficult and was very much a challenge to finish that.
All right. And what are your plans after graduation? Do you think you'll be using any skills you gained in this program?
Not as I think now. I'm currently planning on attending Central Michigan University for my counseling degree, and then possibly attending either a local beauty school or going up to Northern Michigan University for my cosmetology degree. And I hope to open my own counseling practice along with salon.
All right. Thank you for joining us on the MyMACC Podcast. It's been a pleasure having you here today.
It's been a pleasure to be here.
And thank you for tuning in to my final segment of the MyMACC Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a good life.
Now, Mr. Weed is going to interview the auto instructor.
Hello and welcome to this section of the MyMACC Podcast. My name is Duane. I'm the instructor of the Digital Arts Program, and today I have Mr. Ballard here with me. He's the automotive instructor for the automotive technology. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
I know that we're really busy in all of our programs, and I do want to thank you for taking the moment to come down here. I'd like to get to know you a little bit better. At what point did you decide that auto was the direction that you were going to take?
Well, I was in high school and moving around from different schools to different schools. Ended up at Huron High School in Ann Arbor, where I grew up and went to school, and was kind of lost and without direction and not enjoying school very much. A friend of mine was in the auto program and said we should check this out, and I did, and found a place to be successful and to be part of something.
The light bulb kind of went off.
Yeah, I went to Huron is about 2,000 students, and so it had a big drama department, lots of sports, all kinds of different electives that different students could find their place in, and auto was the place for me.
Okay, so you took it in high school. I take it you went on to college or a tech center?
I took auto in high school and then went into the field. I was actually working as a work-based learning program in high school. I was offered a scholarship to a trade school and didn't take it. Stayed in the program for a little bit longer. And then when I was looking around to see, is this something I want to do for 30 years, and saw a lot of just physically broken mechanics that it just seemed like this was going to be very difficult, very hard work for the next 30 years, and maybe I should look at something a little bit more.
So that's where teaching kind of came in.
That's where teaching came in. My dad is a teacher as well, or was a teacher, and so I went to Washtenaw Community College to learn about teaching, to get into a teaching program, transfer program from Washtenaw Community College, of course. My high school principal had told me that auto students had no chance of getting into a good school. So while I was applying for the next level after community college, I applied for the local state college in town in Ann Arbor and was accepted. So I went to the University of Michigan because, mostly because my principal said I couldn't.
You prove people wrong.
That's right.
So you've been in teaching all this time. You and I met when you were up at the McCost Osceola Career Center, and you just started. You're new to the MACC area, but you've got 20-some years experience?
Yeah, I taught in Ann Arbor for a few years, and then my wife got a job in the Chicago area, so we moved there for 15 years because it was just a really, really good place to raise kids. Once my kids graduated, I decided I didn't want to live in an urban, not really urban environment, very suburban environment of outside Chicago, and moved back to Michigan without a job. So worked at Ferris for a little bit, worked at McCosta for a little bit, and I'm very, very happy to have ended up here.
Well, we're happy that you're here. Can you tell me about your program? What is your goal for the automotive technology program here at the MACC Area Career Center?
I've taught in a lot of different places that the students have been very, very different. Obviously, at a career center, theoretically, they'll want to come here to become a tech in our field. Realistically, that's not necessarily what everybody wants to do. Some people just want to work on their own cars. Some people want to work elsewhere in the industry, and there are hundreds of thousands of jobs in the automotive industry that aren't actually wrenching on cars, in sales and parts and all kinds of engineering degrees.
But it helps to know how it's all put together.
It's critical to know how it's all put together and how it all works. So my main goal is, as a teacher, is to get students prepared for that next level, to whether it's going into engineering or going to post-secondary or going straight to work like I did, to be able to be successful in the field. That's the official goals of the program. The other goals of the program have a lot to do with, as it was for me, a place for students to be and to be successful and to be welcomed, and to do things that they like to do. I'm very passionate about cars, and
here at the Career Center, we have a thing that's called the PAID expectations, professional integrity, adaptability, and dependability. These are things that are skills that doesn't matter what profession you go into, it's needed everywhere. And it's sometimes just preparing them for a career.
Absolutely.
Whether it's in your field or the field that I teach or whatever.
That's right.
It's just helping them. I want to thank you for taking time out of your class to come in here today. We'd like to thank you for watching the MyMACC podcast, and I'm going to turn it over to whoever follows this segment. So thank you for watching.
And finally, Leah is going to be talking to 2 first-year digital arts students about their experiences.
Hi, welcome to the MyMACC Podcast, and I heard that these 2 people right here want to come back next year. So, Reef, what did you like about this class the most?
Being able to express myself and my creativity, and being able to create what I wanted to, and take what I imagined and make it actually happen.
Really nice. Okay, you, Trent.
I thought it was fun to create videos, mess around with the different software, and get creative with a lot of the stuff that we had.
Was there any struggles you had during this class?
Just learning certain like tools and stuff on software. Pretty much that's all I really had trouble with.
Okay. You, Trent, what was your struggles?
I didn't have too many struggles aside from my computer just not wanting to work when I needed it to. But other than using the stuff, not really an issue.
So, Reef, what do you look forward next year and why?
Being able to continue expressing myself and creating things that I find interesting and taking over the podcast and improving it in ways.
So is that one of the projects you're excited for next year?
I guess so, yeah.
Any other project you hope to cover over next year?
Not that I can think of at the moment, no.
Okay, thank you. You, Trent?
Honestly, the podcast, too. I think that would be fun to edit that and work on that and create more episodes for it.
Why are you excited for the podcast?
Be exciting to make it. Work on more episodes and continue off what the second year started.
Okay. You, why are you excited for the podcast?
Basically the same thing he said. I don't know what else to add on to
Yeah,
that.
it's quite an interesting question.
If you could restart this whole year, would you do it again?
Maybe. There's some things I wouldn't do over again, but some things were fun, and I would do that again, yeah.
You, Trent, would you?
Yeah, I would repeat the year. It was
Okay.
fun.
And that will be all for the MyMACC podcast. Tune in next time when these guys take over. Bye!
And that concludes the final edition of the MyMACC podcast for the 2023-2024 school year. Thanks for watching and listening.